Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on in to the ringside, pull yourself up a seat here, and let's talk about some AEW. Matter of fact, some changes.
All right, AEW changes.
So we got the AEW hot and heavy on the topic today. Frank, how we doing, man?
Oh, we're good. We're really good today. We're back in the saddle again. It's been a while since we've been able to do this, so I'm definitely excited to get back together, get some wrestling talk going, get some new content put out for you guys. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, regulators mount up.
All right, there you go.
Before we get going too fast down this road, we want to take just a moment and pay our respects to superstar Billy Graham. We lost him. Unfortunately, this is just something in the wrestling community that we have to deal with as we go along. But man, oh man, what a loss this was.
Yeah, I mean, superstar, the last 20 years of his career, he was kind of murdered, controversy, and a lot of things he said and all that. But, I mean, put all that to the side. Superstar was an impactful character to so many. Hulk Hogan was basically his model. He came straight from the cast of Superstar Billy Graham. And, I didn't know Ric Flair took things from Superstar. A lot of guys took a lot of stuff from the Superstar to make their characters who they are. So, Billy Graham had a lot of impact on the sport that, people don't even really know about. So if you're out there listening and you're not really familiar with Superstar Billy Graham, take a few minutes out to look into him, to see how much impact he's really had on the sport. Yeah,
you want to talk about charisma, you want to talk about body.
Oh, yeah.
Dude was a huge body guy. I mean, I saw pictures that come out, when he passed away, him working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I mean, just huge body guy.
Superstar was buffed. I mean, like I said, he looked like he was the one that had the 24-inch pythons before Hogan had ever said it. Had the bleach blonde hair. He was tanned. I mean, Superstar. Even when he came back, I remember when he came back and he was managing Don the Rock Morocco when Magnificent Morocco turned good. Even then, Superstar was a stud. He just had some health issues. So
yeah,
but we want to send one out to him.
Yeah, we're gonna make a toast here. Crack one open. R.I.P. Superstar Billy Graham.
All right.
Toast to you, sir.
Cheers.
All right. So now to the topic at hand.
More lighter stuff.
More lighter stuff. AEW and all the changes that are happening. I mean, this is like a hurricane right now that's going on.
Man, I remember when WWE was sold and, we had to instantly put out, content right away because there was so much influx. And
yep.
I feel like we're in that same boat with AEW right now, but it's all good stuff. That I'm real excited for that. I'm real anxious for it. Those of you who have been listening, we haven't always been that excited and complimentary towards AEW about some of the stuff they did. They have some stuff that's good, but they're growing. They're a young company. They're going through a lot of growing pains, and some of that sucks. Unfortunately, they have to do it on camera. They're not able to figure it out, off camera and let it go. They're doing it they're doing it on the fly, and then they're putting out all access shows and things like that are really highlighting some of the mistakes they're making. So, that doesn't make it any better, but a lot of the stuff we're hearing these last few days is real exciting. So I'm definitely ready to see them on that upward tick and start making a name for themselves.
So we got we've got a I guess they still call them pay-per-views, right?
They do over there, because they're still charging you to watch on Fight, so ain't premium live events, that's for sure.
So we're going to talk about Double or Nothing. It's their pay-per-view they got coming up. I believe that's going to drop on Memorial Day weekend.
28th.
The 28th. Mm-hmm. So, their pay-per-view Double or Nothing, it's one of their big four that they always have. They've included, the fifth with the Forbidden Door. Sounds like we're going to get a 6-1 this year with All In. But let's talk about the card real quick for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. I want to start off with the biggest match that's probably going to be airing on that night, the Anarchy in the Arena match that was just announced between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. Yeah, this is going to be a banger.
Their lead into that on this most recent Dynamite here, their lead into that, I mean, it brought intrigue. On past episodes, I remember saying there's not really any intrigue to watch any of their pay-per-views. Everything's been slow dragging and so much drama and nonsense. They're starting to get those storylines going now that really make you interested in what's going on in the ring again and putting the focus back on what they need to have the focus on.
Yeah, and so anybody that's been following the storyline, the Blackpool Combat Club has just come after the Elite, and basically their MO is, hey, we are the Elite. Yeah. We are the guys that should be the measuring.
That's exactly what they said. They said, hey, we're the best in the business, bar none.
Yeah, and so, Blackpool Combat Club, you got Daniel Bryan, you got John Moxley, or not Daniel Bryan, you got Bryan Daniels.
All right, there you go. Copyrighted infringement right there.
So then you got
Wheeler Yuta.
And I can't never remember his name.
Claudio Castagnoli.
I always want to call him Cesaro.
That always makes me think of some kind of pasta dish when I say Castagnoli, so it makes me hungry.
In that same vein, I go back to the comment that you said one night when we were sitting around watching PLE and Cesaro was on there and you talking about his pepperoni nipples.
Absolutely, pepperoni nipples. Man, everything about that dude is a lasagna plate. I'm telling you.
Speaking of which, I need to call Papa John's.
Yeah, I was gonna say that watching that dude, every time you watch him, that dude makes you hungry. They start saying his name, and I start hearing that Castagnoli, and I'm like, wasn't that on my Italian menu last night? I'm starving in here.
So that's Blackpool Combat Club, and the Elite, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and now we've got the returning member Hangman Page.
Yeah, he's been playing footloose and fancy free with the Elite ever since the inception of AEW. Yep. So I guess now he's all in, quote unquote. Yeah, he's all in.
This is the full force of the Elite that was running roughshod in New Japan and other places. So
Bullet Club, right?
Well, so
I don't know about New Japan. I got
sometimes Bullet Club, sometimes not. It just all depends. When Bullet Club had a falling out, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Hangman, they kind of separated themselves from that, and that's where the Elite formed.
Ah, okay. There we go. Look at that history there. Look at that history.
I got a little bit.
There we go.
So I'm excited for this match. I mean, guys, you hear us all the time signing off on this show. My signature sign off is stolen from Kenny Omega. I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan.
North Carolina.
Oh. But with Kenny Omega, I'm super, super interested to see him and the potential of him mixing it back up with Bryan Daniels.
Oh yeah,
they took that away from us too soon.
I don't know what I mean. Maybe they knew it. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just another one of them faux pas that they kind of they fumbled the bag on that one. But whatever the case is, putting them back in a ring together gives us, like I said, they turned it around. Whatever was going on, they righted the nose on the ship, and now things are starting to go back in the direction that everybody's really been waiting for.
Yeah, and that's
one of them.
The intrigue that they've built, though, started. It started with the trios belts when all of that stuff was going down. Then the screwdriver kind of came into play with Moxley, doing that. And then the cage match between Moxley and Omega.
Yeah, they even found a way to make Don Callis interested again. Right. I mean, who is he? Cyrus or Cypress, whoever he was in WWE way back in the. I haven't cared about that guy since that day. He was in Impact for a while. Nope, didn't care. He came into AEW. I'm like, yo, he's not Paul Heyman. You're wasting your time. Then he did that screwdriver turn, and I'm like, hold on. Now that's actually pretty interesting. Let's see where this is going. Yeah. So
the spot, though, that had me worried in the cage match, when the wall busted.
So, that didn't look right.
No, Kenny about lost his leg.
I mean, so I get it that it was probably supposed to happen in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, there was no way for Don Callis to get in the ring, right?
Right.
So I'm assuming they had that set up somehow.
Yeah.
But, it did not go as well as planned. It wasn't smooth as silk. It definitely wasn't like the WWE when Lashley went through the cage, and they didn't have it evened out just so much. Because, when Kenny crotched himself on that cage thing, I'm like, on the cage, there really isn't any give in there to crotch yourself. You know, it ain't gonna bounce like the rope. That's hella dangerous.
At least they had the panel set, though, where there was no sharp points.
Yeah, because had they had that, we wouldn't be having this match.
No, that would have been a different story.
Yeah, his career may be over.
Yeah, I think that was a combination of Kenny jumping too soon, and then Moxley didn't jump at all.
Yeah, it looks like he hit it wrong.
He was flat-footed.
Yeah, he kind of just fell into it instead of jumped into it.
Yeah, so that was a crazy spot. But, you know, these other guys that are in there, Wheeler Yuta, God, him and Daniel Garcia, those two guys right now, they're kind of the new Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko. They're the workhorses. Yeah. They're in that era right now.
Yep.
I'm hoping they break off Daniel Garcia again from JAS because I want to see him get back into those technical matches. I really wish they would have put him with Blackpool. But nevertheless, Claudio, you got he's that strong, superhuman feats of strength type person.
Yeah, when he pressed that young buck onto the truck the other day, I was like, wow, look at that.
I gotta know what kind of truck that was because that hood didn't dent.
Yeah, no kidding, right? When I saw, they kept throwing him into it. I'm like, okay, they could, we could gimmick the headbutt shots into it. But yeah, when you press slam a guy into a hood and the hood holds up, I'm like, that
was a tough truck.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, but I wonder if it was built for tough.
Hey, it might have been.
There you go.
But yes, I'm excited for this match. Anarchy in the Arena. It's going to be balls to the wall. It's going to be hell on wheels. It's just fast, furious. I'm excited for this match.
Speaking of Fast and the Furious, that's a different podcast. I'm sorry.
We do got that coming.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Give me 24 hours, I'll be able to talk about that. But that's a different. But so I do need to wager a little. I do need to place a little wager on it. How many minutes into this match before Mox is busted wide open?
30 seconds.
Okay, I was going 2 to 3 minutes.
30 seconds.
I was trying to give him some longevity. I mean, maybe he needs to blue chew it up or something.
30 seconds. Man. Hell, he might come to the
ring. Yeah, true that. He might do the old Cactus Jack thing and beat himself in the head before he even gets there.
Headbutt a locker.
Yeah, there you go. Renee Paquette.
Oh, yeah. Let's
moving on.
There. Yeah, let's not move over there.
Moving on.
So, move on to the next match here. 4 Pillars match. This is MJF, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara.
The smallest pillars in the world.
Smallest pillars in the world, but doing a damn good job, I think.
They make up. We talked about it on the last AEW. We had to give them credit for it. They make up for whatever they're lacking in stature, in character. They're all 4 of them. They've got me really intrigued to see that match. And 6 months ago, you tell me the 4 of them are going to wrestle a match, and I'd have told you that was a bathroom break.
Yeah.
I like, because I always liked MJF's character. I like the crazy, ridiculous shit that, I'm thinking of Darby Allin to do. I like all that stuff, but Sammy Guevara, like his wife. You know what I mean? These are kind of the only things that I'm looking for in the match. But now, I mean, watching those guys work together, in the tag matches and the different singles matches they had, seeing the chemistry that the 4 of those guys have with each other, I'm like, you know what? This is going to be not to coin a phrase, but this is going to be a phenomenal match.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think that it's going to be fast paced. I think they'll be spot heavy. I mean, unfortunately, but that's just because Darby and Sammy.
The people in it. I mean, they're spot guys.
Yeah,
Jungle Boy too.
But at the same time, I think there's enough intrigue there. MJF can actually tell a story because his story going into this thing, he don't have to get pinned to lose the belt.
No. So that puts him at a different risk than what he had. Because I'll be honest, if MJF was wrestling either one of these 4 1-on-1. Snoozer. I'd have been like, you already know who's winning. You already know how it's coming out. But the way they've built up the other 3 guys, they've put them on MJF's level. I mean, they may not promo as well as MJF, but as far as walking into the ring, when that bell rings and you're looking at those 4 guys, they're equals in there. It's not like a WWE thing where Roman outshines everybody and it is what it is. They're equals in there at this point, and that actually might be a better thing. They're smaller guys. I said a couple episodes ago they were, more mid-carders that are kind of reaching that next level, trying to get the brass ring, quote unquote, but any one of those guys could grab that brass ring at this point. That kind of intrigue is surrounding this match right now, and that makes it really, really good for the event.
Yeah, and however, I'm of the mindset I don't think he's going to drop the belt. However, like you said, the intrigue is there. You don't know if that's going to happen or not. But
he might not drop the, he might not drop the belt. Darby Allin might drop the belt. Jungle Boy might drop the belt.
Yep.
That, because it's a little too predictable with MJF and the run that he's on right now and blah, blah, blah. It does. Yeah, no, I also don't think he's going to lose. I fully, and I was going to ask you, what kind of prediction, because this match is that good.
Right.
I fully predict he's going to leave with that belt, but there's a lot of ways you can get to a lot of different things. And, for a feel good moment, you never know.
I think he's going to come out of it, but he's going to barely come out of it. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll move on to the next match. Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. Again, this is for the AEW women's belt.
Doesn't that one girl still come out with Jamie Hayter? What's her name? The pointing girl. Can't remember her name.
Yeah, you mean Britt?
Yeah, the abs, the teeth.
Hey, watch it now. Adam might be listening.
Oh, I thought you were going to threaten me with Tony. I was like,
no, you better watch it. Adam might be listening.
Tony's banging that like a snare. But,
So you got Jamie Hayter, which all the fans are super behind her right now. Still, even though she's been injured and been away from TV, she's just caught this grassroots movement, and deservedly so. She's phenomenal in the ring. She's really great.
Yeah, she earned everything she's got.
I really want them to do more with their women's division, though. They've got to do more with this division.
So, and I know you said you didn't watch the All Access show, so I did watch it. And it was a highlight of Britt Baker. And I'm like, even she said on there, she's like, I don't really need the belt. I'm just trying to elevate the division, blah, blah, blah. But it kind of really circulates around me. At the end of the day, that's really true. I mean,
because she's in everything.
Yeah, they brought in the Outcasts, and that could have been its own thing. That could have elevated the women's level to the next level, but it had to circulate around Britt, and because Britt's not really the highlight of it, it's just not really getting highlighted, unfortunately. Yeah. So
now I will say this: they are doing some phenomenal work with Julia Hart and Anna JAS.
Man, yes, they are.
They are doing some incredible
work. Have you seen those two?
Yeah.
My God. Yeah. I mean, there's money written there somewhere. Now, that one girl's got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
Wait. We went the wrong direction. I was going one direction. You went that direction.
I don't know where you were going, but that's an exact quote. That is a quote from that woman. I am quoting.
That is on her t-shirt, though. Yeah. That is on her t-shirt.
I'm just quoting her. That girl said she got a fat ass and a bad attitude. And I said, you know what? I like all of it. Come on with it.
And then Julia Hart on the other end running around, with the House of Black. She went from being a cheerleader with the Varsity Blondes, to being this crazed, lunatic, vicious woman in the ring.
So what you're saying is she pulled herself out of obscurity and made a name for herself.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, so. And again, same premise as before. We definitely want them to do more with the women's division, but the characters are there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really just going to come down to dedication to, we're going to make something out of this. We're going to elevate it from the Divas division up to the women's division. It's really in that same vein of thought where we're going to take these women seriously and start giving them quality TV time,
not just surrounding minutes.
Right, not just surrounding Britt Baker, but we're going to give you real storylines. We're going to give you things that you can, dig into and make it interesting. They've got the talent. They've got the right women there. I mean, they've got the formula WWE. You've got some athletes. You've got some outcasts. You've got some gorgeous women. They've got it. They've got all the pieces. Now it's just time to highlight it. Put them in the right places.
So we'll move on to the next one, the tag team match, FTR versus the TNA Nostalgia Act.
There you go. That one? I guess we can call it that. Let's see. What are they? The lethal cowboys, or
I don't know.
Lethal outlaws, or hell, whatever.
All I know is it's 2023 and Jeff Jarrett is still relevant somehow.
I mean, hell, he's hella relevant. I mean, he's fighting for it. He's already fought for the international title. Now he's fighting for the tag title. Hell, nobody else in AEW's getting this many consecutive title matches. So, but let's be honest. I mean, Jeff's their biggest heel.
Yeah.
Because he's their truest heel.
Yeah.
You know, the other guys are, like MJF, all those guys that are now MJF's a heel, he's a heel of heels. He lives the role and all that other, but the fans ain't hating him no more. They've found a way. They're like, that niche group, they start to like him. Some of them love the guy.
Yep.
Nobody loves Jeff Jarrett. We appreciate his talent and his skill and all the dedication he's put into the years he's put into the business. But just as soon as he gets on the screen, it's just like, ugh, this guy. I mean, but that's his job. What we're saying is he plays his character perfectly.
Yeah.
Because he wants people to hate him, and damn, we hate him.
Yeah, but his other half there in the ring of his team, Jay Lethal, I can't.
Black Machismo,
dude, I love that dude, man. He's great.
You gotta love him. I mean, with his imitations, and then he's out there doing the Jeff Jarrett struts and all that. But I mean, like Sanjay and then that Sanjam. I hate those guys. So
big dude.
Yeah. So, them two guys, they got the wrong kind of heat. They got that go the hell away heat.
Go away heat.
Yeah, I could definitely see them both being gone and being okay with just Jeff. Although I was interested by the resurgence of Karen Angle this week. Where did that come from?
Karen who?
Karen Jarrett. I don't even know what the hell her first name was, but
yeah, that's another podcast episode.
Yeah, that's a deal. We got to do research on that to actually straighten all that out. But I mean, bringing her back in, she was an effective character for Impact for a long time.
She was.
For those of you who watched Impact back in the 2010s in that era.
She was like Vicky Guerrero. She was a heat magnet.
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The minute she opens her mouth, she ain't Dom Mysterio. She ain't Vicky Guerrero, but she's in that same vein of thought. Yeah. She's easy to hate.
Yeah. And then FTR, FTR finally come back, got the belts. And they've had a so-so run so far. Hopefully, they get a better showing because there's way more better tag teams right now in AEW than this.
True that, but
I'm hoping they get a better showing.
Let's dive into that just for a second. Let's go a little bit deeper on that. Has anybody of the current AEW champions, has anybody had a good title run? Because MJF's title run's kind of been, it's not, he ain't Roman Reigns. He ain't shaking the earth by no means, but what about Orange Cassidy? Is that international title? Is it relevant? Do you care about that international title?
I don't care about the title. I care about him.
Well, you care about him, but he's still carrying that title around in the backpack, and nobody cares.
It's because it's still so new. There's not been a really vicious battle over that belt yet to make you care.
Has MJF had that yet?
I think so, but that only just happened with Bryan Danielson. In the Iron Man match.
True, but I mean, I feel like that was his peak. Like that was the highlight of his title reign, and now it seems like it's all just kind of plateaued.
Nah, I don't think he's peaked yet. I
don't think he's peaked. I mean, I feel like this title reign, I feel like what he did with Dan, that's just what I mean, these title runs.
Yeah,
I feel like
he's definitely on the downward side.
Yeah, I feel like what he did with Daniel Bryan was as good as it's going to get. Unless there's another challenger, aka like a Drew McIntyre or something like that, that we'll talk about later. But something like that.
Yeah,
I feel like there's not really a upside to his title reign anymore, and he's already on the downtick of it, and he's only had the belt for 3 months.
I think it's going to depend where the next program takes him. If he walks away with this title out of this match, and where the next program leads him, that'll kind of set.
There's got to be something great waiting.
It's got, and right now your huge, massive stars are all tied up into this Anarchy in the Arena match. I mean,
true.
You look,
but I mean, still, like you just said, FTR's reign has been kind of. What about Wardlow in the belt with the TNT belt? That's been hot potatoed around. That's kind of like it's.
So he's got the match coming up with Christian Cage. It's a ladder match. But
I wanted to call it the unpretty. That kill switch on the ladder. How about that? Yeah, that looked nasty.
Yeah.
I'm sure they gimmicked it however they gimmicked it, but that ladder was all mangled and torn up, and then they took a move on it. I'm like, woo.
How about Arn coming in and throwing the ice bag up?
I was surprised the damn bag hit the wall. I don't know what the hell. I don't know if Arn's got that Paul Orndorff thing where those little arms shrinking or whatever, but Like, hell, he threw it, and I thought the bag was going to hit the ground. I was like,
he didn't get much air on that bag.
Right. I'm like, I get it. He didn't want to hurt the man or anything, but I'm like, hell, he could have threw it way far away. The impact would have been when you heard it hit the wall. Yeah. When I saw it hit the wall and just kind of die and go down, I was like, damn, Arn, you could have saved that.
But we know this ladder match, there's going to be a spot in there with something to do with Luchasaurus. It's bound to happen.
Absolutely. Somebody's got Christian ain't taking that fall.
No, if Christian walks out with this belt, it will be because of Luchasaurus. But I do hate the fact that the TNT belt has been hot potatoed everywhere. It's been that way since its inception. And I hate that because
there's no credibility.
There's no credibility in it. You're right.
Nobody's had it for that kind of run to make it the workers' belt. They call it the workers' belt, but like who's working with it? Hobbs had it for a quick minute. I think he had one defense. Wardlow had it for a long time, but he didn't defend it when he had it. It's just there again. That's so yeah. And I know I said everything was all super positive, and I was super excited about AEW. That's the one thing that's still lingering with me is just the handling of the titles as a whole,
or too many titles.
Well, there's definitely that. I mean, because all those Ring of Honor titles, hell, you don't even see them anymore.
No,
they said the other day that Samoa Joe's still the Ring of Honor TV champ, and I said, damn, Samoa Joe still works there. Hell, not only does he work there, man's got a belt.
Well, that's because Ring of Honor right now is behind a paywall.
I don't know what it's behind, but
it's on that whatever their subscription is. It's internet only, and that's the only way you get to see Ring of Honor.
No wonder I forgot that it existed. But therein lies the problem. I forgot that it existed. They said somebody was the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, and I was like, hey, I remember that belt. What the hell happened to it? Now I know what happened to it because I ain't paying for Ring of Honor.
No,
definitely ain't seeing that.
We got a few more matches to talk about. Let's get them in real quick.
Holy hell. How big is this? This pay-per-view is going to be 6 hours.
8 hours.
Oh, God. I'm punching in. They're paying my ass.
We've got the Blackjack Battle Royal for the International Belt. Orange
is that
Cassidy.
Blackjack Mulligan versus Blackjack Lanza? Or?
That would kind of be interesting.
That would be interesting, yeah. Especially because they had to dig both of them guys up to do it. So
talking about a boneyard match.
There you go. Undertaker.
But a touch. But I'm happy to see. Yeah, we are. But I'm happy to see Orange Cassidy get in there, get some limelight again. I love Orange Cassidy. I love his style. I love the way that he works in the ring. You can surefire bet that this is going to be the match that, you're not in the storyline? Okay, you're in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this is
way to get everybody on the card, that's for sure. 21-man Battle Royal, and you got 50 guys over there doing nothing. Yeah, somebody's going to get a payday. I mean, so I'm all for that. Hey, get some people with some work. Get some people that we may have forgotten about back out there. But as far as who's going to leave with the belt, I'm pretty sure that's going to be an Orange Cassidy deal again because they don't really highlight the belt.
Yep. Last one that we got listed for the card is Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Championship.
Yeah, they're not breaking Jade's. They're not breaking her.
I do think that if there were getting ready to do it, this would be the time.
It may be, but she already beat her. I mean,
she did, but
rematches ain't really the time to break a streak.
Okay. All right.
That's just my thing.
I'll agree with that.
Not for a rematch. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it with a first time, banger.
Maybe there is a introduction of a new talent though somewhere.
And that's kind of what I think. There's going to be somebody that comes along, like maybe a Mercedes Moné or something like that.
Oh, that would be interesting as hell.
Who would be the one to break that streak? It's got to be something. It's got to be something impactful. You don't want just somebody who's already on the list as a beat. When Kevin Nash beat Goldberg, Kevin Nash wasn't already a beaten man. He came in fresh and beat him fresh. So, All right, last question, though, before I know we got to wrap on this one, but this is going to be a rough one, so I want to ask it while we got a little bit of time.
Okay.
What's going to be the show stealer of this pay-per-view? Because there's so much potential.
I honestly think the show stealer is going to be the Four Pillars match.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I
actually think it's going to be the tag match. I think
the FTR TNA match.
Because so FTR works an old school style of wrestling. Jay Lethal mimics an old school style of wrestling. And hell, Jeff Jarrett is old school wrestling. I feel like they're going to put together a match that's going to make some of the nostalgia in us really pop out on the screen. Like, oh my God, this looks like NWA style wrestling. I feel like that's what they're going to put out for that.
I will look for that.
That's what I'm hoping at least.
And be pleasantly surprised if it happens because you know me, I'm still trying to ponder. why the hell is Jeff Jarrett relevant in 2023?
Well, there's your guy. I mean, they put him with the right guy. They put him with the old school tag team. I feel like they're gonna have an old school wrestling match, and I'm all there for it.
And for all you Jeff Jarrett fans out there, just come on at me. Come on at me.
Don't worry, your DMs are empty. Your DMs are gonna be silent, and silent is good because there ain't none of them out there.
All right, everybody. So with that, this was part 1 of our discussion. We're gonna wrap on this part here. We will be back shortly with part 2. Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.